What's up, folks, and welcome back to Dyce Reacts, where we are staying in Australia tonight. Oh yeah, we are going to be checking out 9 reasons I love living in Australia as a Canadian. Side checks one out. We ain't going to waste no more time. Just going to get right into it, folks. We're going to get right into it. Oh yeah.
All right, number one is that the nature here is integrated into the city extremely well. So it doesn't matter if you're in a big city or not, whether it's Sydney, Gold Coast, I feel like there's always a good amount of nature relief. I really noticed that when I was in Sydney, especially. You'd think for a big city, I was expecting sort of a concrete jungle. No, there is water relief, there's beach.
I said the same thing about Poland as well. Australia and Poland, they really know how to blend, the architecture with with nature. They do a fabulous job. They don't just get rid of nature completely. He recognized that. I thought I was the only one who recognized that, but it's well blended. Many places don't do that. We won't take it back just a bit.
I was expecting sort of a concrete jungle. No, there is water relief, there's beaches, there's nice parks, there's just a plethora of reasons to be outside and have a day, which is amazing because I love being outside as much as I can. And same with the Goldie. I mean, there is so much stuff here. There is so many places to swim, so many things to do with friends. To be able to just, go paddleboard a few walks away from your house, or hop in the water, go run down a creek, down a trail. All of this nature relief as the birds are chirping is just awesome. And I really do love it because it's just a nice way to feel good on a day-to-day basis. So that's the first thing I love about living in Australia. Next is similar, but it's sort of the animals in the city. I love that there's dogs everywhere. At least where I've lived. Again, I haven't lived in the entire country. This is just from my experience. There is so many dogs running around on the streets, at cafes, at the beaches, and it is awesome. A lot of them run around with this name tag on.
Because I was about to say, what kind of dogs are you talking about running around? I thought it was like stray dogs. I was like, Australia don't look like a country that has a problem with stray dogs. I could be wrong for that, but he's talking about like people that are bringing the dogs to the parks and those places. Makes sense because that's what I'm seeing he's showcasing on screen. It's not like stray dogs running around, messing up garbage and shit all over the place. You know what I mean? I thought it was that kind of stray dogs. I mean, that would be a problem in many ways. We'll take it back.
At the beaches, and it is awesome. A lot of them run around with this name tag on, which I've never seen before. So you know their names, they're running around, they're just a bundle of joy, and they're at every cafe, and it's just really wholesome. It's just really awesome because I love dogs. They make me feel good. I enjoy their energy and positivity. So I love that there's dogs everywhere and that they're so welcomed in the culture here. All right, next is I love how much I see my friends here, at least before I broke my foot. Felt like every day I was seeing friends here. Doesn't matter if it was Monday, Tuesday, before work, after work, for a swim, a run, a coffee, a drink, a cold plunge, a sauna, whatever it is. I feel as though Australians love to make the most of each day. Again, I have not met all 28 million Australians in the world, but they have a good appreciation for life. And I really, really do love that. There's no soaking it for months and then enjoying life. It's okay, now how do I enjoy the next few days, the weekend, while still working hard and providing and moving up in a career. It's a nice balance, and I really, really do love that because you only live once, so gotta enjoy it. All right, next is the pride in volunteerism here. I feel as though there's a lot of pride in doing surf life saving or volunteering at Bunnings or doing fundraisers at the beach. There's just a lot of pride and sense of community in the volunteering here, and I really, really do love that because it's just a great way to live, and it's a great way to interact with community. So it's really cool to see, and I do love that about living in Australia. Next, we got cheap and reliable transport. I might have mentioned it before, but I love that it's super cheap, and all things considered, it's very reliable. I know it's not perfect. It's pretty good and clean. And even just the ferry rides, like I said, in Sydney, the fact that those were like $1 or whatever they were, feels like I should be paying 30 because it's like an amusement ride. Or the 50-cent bus and trains here in Queensland. it's just awesome. I really do appreciate how cheap and accessible it is for the most part. Next thing I love is how they treat public holidays here. So it's kind of two sides to it.
Okay.
I feel either you're making the absolute most of that day, weekend, you're gonna get together with your mates, you're gonna go out for a barbecue or Barbie, or go out for drinks, or go to the beach, or do something. You're gonna do something really, really fun with your friends. Or if you work, you get some really nice penalty rates, so you're making double time off your casual rate or whatever you're making, and you're making some good coin. So I just feel like they make the most of their public holidays. Whether you're working, you're gonna make some good coin, or if you're not working, you're gonna get out with your buddies and have an absolute day. And I really do love that. Next, I love, love, love the early morning fitness culture, the early morning culture, even if it's not fitness, but the early morning culture here. Everybody's up early at sunrise, doing something, getting after it. And I really do love that. I just think it's such a great way to live on a day-to-day basis. And it's so much fun seeing your friends before work. You know, having that 3 hours, getting up at 5, 4:30, whatever, and then seeing your friends for 3 hours, and then going to work. I feel like I've already had a day. Or even the amount of times I've gotten home at like 10 a.m., 11 a.m. and I've, you know, gone for a surf, a swim, had a coffee, had brekkie, and, you know, chatted with a few friends, and it's like 10 or 11, and I'm like, whoa, I feel like I've already had a full day.
Yeah,
It feels like I've lived for that day, and now I still have
not common.
6 hours, 8 hours to go. So I think it's pretty awesome, and I do love that. So similar to the early morning culture in terms of health and fitness is I love that there's farmers markets. I'm not gonna say everywhere. Again, I haven't been all over the country. In the cities I've lived, Cairns, Goldie, and Sydney, there's a lot of farmers markets, or a lot of fish markets, or a lot of just fresh produce markets. And I really appreciate that. I love that there's such a focus on health here. And the farmers markets is a great way to support your community, your local friends, farmers, while getting really, really good produce that's good for you. So they're a great time. I love going to them as much as I can. And yeah, I love the farmers markets, how many there are. Lastly, I do feel very safe here. I feel as though the safety is quite high. There are places that aren't. I've seen news stuff. I know it's not everywhere is safe, but for the most part, where I've lived, I find it very safe, all things considered. And I would be more than comfortable with my sister living here on her own, which is sort of that litmus test for me. And I just feel like I've never really been too worried about my stuff being stolen or just being in any real danger, which is really great. And I mean, who wouldn't love living in a place like that?
Exactly.
That's my list.
That's a damn good list, and some of the observations I've made, but I never heard anyone say it until now. So he's really paying attention to a lot of details in Australia, and I'm not the only one, because I was about to say, as time went by, some of the things that I haven't heard, I was going to do a video myself, even if I haven't been there. But some of the observations, the things I've said, I'm starting to, the list was getting up there in number, and I was like, you know, I might have to make a video giving my thoughts with certain things about Australia. And he said a few. I was really shocked that he actually said it. Yeah, but what really shocked me there was the early morning culture. I don't think anyone mentioned that. Yeah, sometimes you get that there's people that love to work out, take walks, and all that, but usually people normally do that like an after work thing, not really before going to work. And the people that actually do this before going to work are really, really disciplined. You gotta be extremely disciplined to do this before work. Many videos I've seen, people have said that they feel safe in Australia. So this was nothing new to me, and it seems like a safe country to me. Not really like you feel like you're always in danger. No one has said that per se. Doesn't mean it's a utopia, but for the most part, it's way safer than many countries that I could think of. And when he mentioned that there's a lot of voluntary work going on in Australia, that's one of the things that I said. They are caring people, and people actually want to make the place safe. They want to volunteer, not just everything that just relying on an institution, a government body to actually do it. people themselves come together, form a community, form groups to do things that help each other, help the community, to a greater extent. And with that kind of character, you can tell why the country is that way, where people themselves use the tools that they have, the means that they have to help one another, especially the community and outward. And that's a good thing to see. So that means they're very self-sufficient. They don't actually always need someone to come and save them. They come together and do it themselves. That's what you call a community work ethic. Very, very good. Not many places around the world have that. A lot of people rely on a bigger body to help a situation where it can be solved. If people in that community, in that place, come together and pool their resources, they can solve that issue. In Australia, trust me, they're doing a fine job and setting the example as to how a community should be. Yeah. If you want to see that long shot and outro that I do, hit me over on Dyce Reacts, where I do music reactions. This is where I'm going to be making my exit. So until next time, peace out.